Hey y'all, Bryan Ray with North Texas Waste Removal. So the name of this video is Trailer 1 Bryan 0. So we're going to talk a little bit about what happened, how this trailer kicked my butt right after I make this drop off here at this one of my commercial clients' roofing jobs. So I'll see you here in just a few. All right, y'all, welcome back. So got the dumpster delivered, on my way back to drop my trailer off at my yard and then go into the office for a little while this afternoon and catch up on some much needed computer and paperwork. So very easy drop off. I wish they were all that easy. So let's talk a little bit about how the dumpster kicked my bottom before about a week before Christmas. So if y'all remember or have watched the video when I go over my trailer, I at the time I'd bought some new black pipe to replace the pipes on my tarp, because the galvanized piping or pipes on my tarp just kept getting bent up. I would miss something was hanging over the side of the dumpster. I would go to close it, motors pulling against the springs, and it would hang up and then bend my pipe over and over and over. So I don't know if it was just me or everybody else having those problems as well. So I went and bought some black pipe, some really thick, not really thick, it's 1-inch diameter black pipe, but it's very heavy duty. It's like what they use for gas lines, and comes in 10-foot lengths, exactly how I need it. But when I installed it, I did not bolt it back into place. So the very end where the pole that your tarp is, the end of your tarp is attached to, there's 90-degree brackets that come down and attach that pipe, that pole, into the black pipe for my US tarps. So there has to be that 90-degree bend. Well, I just took that bend and shoved it onto my black pipe, and it's been holding in place. I should have drilled a hole and either put in a safety pin or a bolt with a lock washer, whatever it was that I need to put in. I should have done that, but I haven't. Well, as you can guess, I picked a dumpster up a week and a half ago or so and take it to the landfill, and I noticed that once I got to the landfill that one of my arms for my tarp system and the black pipe was just laying on the fender. Now how those arms work is they're spring loaded, and that black pipe just slides into those arms, but they're spring loaded to where when you hit open, the springs actually pull that tarp into place to cover your dumpster. And then when you hit close, the motor goes against the springs and pulls the tarp into the closed position, which is in the rack at the head of the trailer. So these things, because of the springs, were just, this one arm was just laying on my fender. Well, I offload, and instead of moving the dumpster, or moving the trailer over, taking the dumpster off, letting the tarp go all the way open to where I could just at ground level just put it back together, I decided I would jump up in the back of the dumpster and grab the bracket and then grab the pipe and just push it together, since the tarp was still at the top of the dumpster. The pipe had just come undone. Hope y'all are able to follow this. So in order for me to be able to do that, I had to get the pipe and push it against the springs, against the tension, and latch it onto, or hook it onto the latch of my dumpster to hold it in place until I could crawl up into my dumpster and connect it. Well, as you can guess, probably by now, is I didn't hook it good enough. So once I hooked it, I turned around to start walking to jump in my dumpster, and that's the last thing I remember. It knocked me smooth out. So what had happened was it just came off that latch, and with the springs and everything came down, and luckily I had turned, and it hit me on the side of the head, cheekbone, top of the mouth, this maxilla area, and knocked me smooth out. Luckily there was somebody standing right there unloading a dump trailer, and so the first thing I remember is him rolling me, or trying to get me rolled over to my hands and my knees. And I looked down, and I'd happened to be on some sheetrock, and blood, the blood was just pouring out of my mouth. And so I start looking or feeling around in my mouth with my tongue, and it felt like someone took a baseball bat and just hit me square in the mouth. It felt the way it felt, and not being able to shut my mouth because my teeth were all messed up, that this bone, I thought that this bone had been hit and had come loose and dropped down and not let me pull my teeth together. So he helped me up, got me some towels or some old t-shirts, got my door shut, got everything done, and I went to a trauma hospital. I thought it was that bad, and I'm glad I did go to a trauma hospital, looking back on it. So it was only probably about 30 minutes away, and they did a CT scan. I was sitting there waiting on the results, and ends up that my grandbabies had gotten into some melatonin gummies while I was there, and so my daughter was rushing them to the hospital. Luckily, we found out that that much melatonin, they could have ate the whole bag and it not hurt them. I mean, they taste like candy. I don't blame them. It's one of those things that went to the store, put them down on the kitchen counter, and turned your back, and they're in them. So I was checking out AMA. I didn't care about my face. I was scared to death about my grandbabies. And the doctor, while I was checking out, the nurse called him, of course, and the doctor said, hey, I heard what's going on. We just got your CT scans back. You don't need surgery, but you have several facial fractures. So if you can stay. If not, we understand. So I went ahead and left, and following up with a surgeon. I think the appointment's tomorrow, or no, the 3rd, I think. So gonna follow up with him and just make sure that it's just fractures and there's no broke bones, that where he's gonna actually have to go in there and do screws or whatever they do in your face. But since then, I've ended up that bone is just fractured up here. It didn't drop down like I thought it had. What had happened was this incisor, your long pointed vampire tooth, from the impact, instead of pointing down towards my lower jaw, it was actually pointing back towards the back of my throat. It hit it and pushed it back, and the tooth next to it, you can see it chipped, missing a tooth, all that kind of stuff. They were all just jacked up enough where I could not close my mouth. So over the last week, I've been able to just work that tooth, the big incisor, just work it forward more and more and more. It's not where it needs to be, but I already have a dental appointment scheduled coming up, and they're going to want to hear about the facial fractures and all that, so I need to go to the doctor anyway before I go to the dentist. So we'll figure out as far as dental, how to fix the teeth, and whether it's going to push all the way forward. I'll find out about that as well. So ended up with 3 facial fractures, 1 here, 2 here in this area, and then of course all the chipped teeth and all that, and then 4 stitches on my lip and inside of my lip that they had to put in. So having said all that, I got my bottom whooped by my trailer, but it could have been much worse. I chose to take the route as far as being stupid and not taking my time and not fixing my stuff right like I should have in the first place. And then even when it broke and I needed to fix it there on site, either saying, you know what, no, I'll fix it when I take it back to the yard, or I'll pull over on the side over here, take the dumpster off and fix it right, instead of putting myself in harm's way like I did. I mean, I spent 30 years as a fireman. I should know better about putting myself in harm's way when it's not needed. So take your time. I didn't show up to work thinking that I was going to get hit in the head with a freaking black pipe, but it ended up happening. So think about what you're doing and keep those risks low. You do no good to your business. You do no good to yourself or your family when you're all gimped up because you did something stupid like I did. So think about things before you do them. The other thing I wanted to talk about concerning this is luckily about 3 or 4 weeks before that, I had made an appointment with an Aflac rep. You know, Aflac, the duck, Aflac. And so I'll get a little money from this. But the whole reason I made that appointment was I got to thinking, and I've mentioned it on my videos before, is I got to thinking, what happens if I'm out? I mean, I have money set aside, but if I'm gimped up for a while because of surgery or anything along those lines, I wanted some sort of like short-term disability, which Aflac has, and they were able to set me up for that. So I got 3 months based on my salary. They'll pay me up to 3 months of my salary if anything happens. And not only that, but they have dental and vision through Aflac as well, which is very affordable, very, very affordable. And I've already utilized the vision part, and like I told you, I'm going to the dentist here pretty soon, because I know that as an entrepreneur, easy for me to say, right? Solopreneur, that it's hard to do the insurance thing. I mean, if you're having to pay for it out of pocket, between that and starting a business and purchasing gas and landfill fees and dumpsters and whatever it is that you're having to do, SEO companies, that gets put on the back burner and with a lot of people, and you're just rolling those dice. So I'll let you know what I'm doing is, as much as I hate it, the Obamacare, I don't call it Obamacare, but that's what you would know it as. It's called the Healthcare Marketplace. And you can go to healthcare.gov, and they actually have some really affordable plans while you're getting your business up and running to help you have health coverage. And that's what I'm choosing to do right now. And then my dental, so I have health coverage with Blue Cross Blue Shield through this Healthcare Act, or the healthcare.gov. And then I have a short-term disability and dental and vision insurance through Aflac. And between all of it, I probably pay $150 a month for all that coverage. So having said that, it's something that you can definitely look into. Plus, because of the ER visit and the stitches and the broken bones and all that kind of stuff, Aflac's going to pay me based on all those injuries to help my out-of-pocket expense. So I'll be getting a check from them as well. I don't know what that check will be. I'll let you know if you're interested, but I'll be getting a check from them as well. So be careful, set yourself up for success when it comes to your health care and putting things in place. Get 3 to 6 months salary or expenses in a savings account. Get your supplemental short-term disability, and then look at getting some health coverage, dental coverage, and some vision coverage if you need it, because it's all fairly inexpensive and affordable. So hope y'all have a great day. Next video will be more operational. We're going to do some stuff over backing and things along those lines, and then we're going to go over my 2025 business plan on a future video coming up real quick. I've about gotten that buttoned up as well. So have a great day. Y'all are a blessing. Talk to you later.